Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better at Aquavita. Visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast. My name is Matt Harvey. I am your host. I am also the founder and lead investigator with Deep Woods Paranormal. My wife and I have been exploring the paranormal for close to 30 years. We research anything from ghosts to Bigfoot to UFOs to cryptid creatures. You name it, basically we research it. So anyways, you have to bear with me. This is a Saturday podcast. I'm trying to get this out on Saturday night, real late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So I am getting over the flu. You can kind of hear it in my voice a little bit. I've been trying to get over this thing for just about 2 weeks now, and it just won't go away. So some people have sent me some links to different websites and asked me to go through and talk about different urban legends and stuff like that, because they are kind of part of the paranormal. A lot of the times they lead to people going to research locations that might have these urban legends or whatever. So let me look into my crystal ball. Oops. Camera's not quite picking it up. How funny. Anyways, there it is. So this is my crystal ball. Yeah, a new item in the Deep Woods Paranormal office. We've got a lot of new stuff. We got a lot of new cool stuff from Christmas. Some new things to put up and stuff. So one of these days I'll show you guys around the office. Maybe if we do a live. All right, let me share my screen. And let's go here. All right. So this is the Caller Times. This is a Texas website out of Corpus Christi. It's called the Corpus Christi Caller Times. A guy named John Olivia. Excuse me if I butchered your name, sir. I apologize. They wanted me to talk about the different things on here. It says Texas urban legends, tales about goat people, ghost, eerie children, and more. So these are just urban legends. Some of them are what I would say real. Some of them aren't. So it says urban legends are everywhere. We've all heard that one something walking up in a tub of ice with their kidney removal on the tail of a woman dying her dog in a microwave because it was wet, drying her. Oh God. Let me try that again. We've all heard the one about someone walking up in a tub of ice with their kidney removed, or tail of the woman drying her dog in the microwave because it was wet. These stories have haunted generations for years. But what about the urban legends that originated in Texas? There are a ton of spooky tales, but Caller Times rounded up the top 10 scariest ones below, and it says, do you think any of them are real? Okay, so let's start here. This says black-eyed children. Now, if you've heard about the black-eyed children, there's some sort of like demon child. They look like a normal kid, except their eyes are completely black. They're usually quiet. If you're in a vehicle or a home, they might come up and knock on the window or the door and essentially ask to come in. Now, I've heard you're never, ever, ever supposed to let them in. Just tell them, sorry, you need to go away, whatever. And supposedly they are telepathic and they can essentially affect your thoughts. Anyways, so there's a lot of stories out here about black-eyed children, but let's read this real quick. When you see children, your mind goes to angelic, sweet beings with an imagination as big as the sky. Bear with me, guys. I'm still not over this flu. Now imagine a child coming up to you with pale skin and black eyes and asking for your help. And it's not so cute anymore. The earliest reported sightings of these kids was in 1996 in Abilene, Texas. A guy named Brian Bethel, a journalist, said he stopped at a parking lot near a movie theater to try to check. He rolled down his window after an older boy tapped on the driver's side window. Noted immediately a soul-wrecking fear. The older boy said he and his younger brother wanted to catch a movie but left their money at home. He asked Bethel for a ride. He realized they wouldn't make it for the last show of the film. He said he broke eye contact with the boy and realized his eyes were completely blacked out. The older boy became frustrated with Bethel and told him they couldn't go into the car until he said they could. After that, Bethel sped out of the parking lot in fear. So that's typical with these black-eyed kids. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, you can kind of see a picture of what looks like a scary little girl with maybe a doll on her hands, and she's got just solid black eyes. To my knowledge, there aren't any pictures of these little kids. There could be, people don't always share evidence. We don't always share evidence, depending on the situation and what's going on and whatever else. Sometimes we get something that we don't want out there, either because it could do harm to others, or essentially it's a piece of evidence we don't want somebody else seeing and possibly messing with us. And yes, we have been watching the government kind of watch us when we're out and about doing paranormal research. Okay, so this is called Century Theater, and the Century Theater stands in downtown Corpus Christi. It actually opened its doors in 1942, and it's said to be haunted by the spirit of a woman who is murdered by her jealous lover. Oh boy. The woman worked as an usher and was stabbed by her partner as she left the women's restrooms on the upper floor near the mezzanine. Basically, that's just the upstairs. It's kind of like a gate or a fence. Just kind of keeps you from falling off the edge of the floor there, essentially. Her white uniform was stained with her blood. The urban legend goes if you've heard blah. The urban legend goes if you head to the seats at the top of the stairs and overlook them, it is likely you will encounter the woman's spirit. Stay on your guard, though, because she will not want you there and will do anything to force you to leave. People have claimed she's makes them cold, or will give you a good push. Now, theaters in general, and I've talked about theaters, I think, before, so I won't talk about this too much.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. first choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
But theaters in general, essentially, I clicked on something and I lost. I lost it. Hold on, let me go back. There we go. It doesn't like it when you close their ads. So theaters in general essentially seem to hold a lot of energy. Depending on what kind of theater it is, whether it's where they do plays or ballet, or maybe they do like a live movie or whatever back in the day. Essentially, theaters tend to hold an energy, even just movie theaters. I mean, our local theater over here, and I can't talk about it because I don't want to get in trouble with the local community, but these theaters tend to hold spirit energy. They tend to, the people go in there, and let's just say it's a movie theater. You're constantly putting out energy, whether you know it or not, when you're reacting to a movie, whether it's a sad movie, a happy movie, a scary movie, whatever. You're putting out all kinds of emotions, and that energy kind of stays with the theater. And I believe that's possibly why a lot of these theaters are, especially the older ones. The one over here was built in, I think, 1902 or something like that. Maybe a little older than that. But anyways, these theaters, even new theaters, have some kind of activity sometimes. But people commit suicide in these theaters as well. I mean, I've been to several theaters where someone has hung themselves from the rafters, and these are older theaters. They're not, where they have plays and stuff. Yes, they do have movies and everything, but they have a back area where they have a stage and everything. When the screen is up, the big screen is up, essentially they can, they put on plays and stuff. So yeah, there's just a lot of emotions and stuff that are with theaters. Doesn't surprise me that there's energy trapped or left there, especially when somebody gets murdered. I mean, I can't even imagine. She probably didn't even know what hit her. Maybe she doesn't even know she's still alive. You're not still alive, excuse me. All right, let's move on. Dancing Devil. According to the San Antonio residents, a dashing and handsome young man dressed in all white entered the I'm going to completely butcher this, Comercito nightclub on Halloween in 1975. The man was supposedly a talented dancer and wooed many of the women at the club on Highway 90. As the evening went on, things took a horrific turn when one of the dancing partners of the mysterious gentleman happened to glance down on his feet. The woman screamed in terror, broke free of his grip, and pointed downwards. Patrons gasped, and shrieked as they noticed his shoes transforming into long-clawed chicken's feet. Okay. Some say that they saw goat's hooves. But either way, attendees figured they were in the presence of Satan himself. After an uncomfortable silence, the man dashed to the men's restrooms and supposedly vanished out an open window. When he left, there was a cloud of smoke that's a strong sulfur smell. Throughout the years, the building has changed and now is closed, but people claim to smell this the sulfur smell still. So if you're not if you don't know, a lot of the claims of demonic haunts tend to have like a sulfur kind of a rotten egg smell to them, and it can be almost like choking. So, could a demon have gone into a club and taken advantage of some ladies? Maybe. I mean, it was Halloween night. Maybe some guy was just playing a prank, and maybe he had something up his pant legs, and as he was dancing, they came out, and maybe were mistaken for something else. I don't know. But anyways, we will look into this and see if it's just we could even get in here, and see if it's available for an investigation. So we'll let you know if we get in there or whatever. That's probably very low on our radar right now. We have a lot of other things that we're working on. We're mainly going to be doing Bigfoot research for the next couple, 3 or 4 months while it's still cool. Supposedly we're going to have an extremely hot summer, and so we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, let's move on. The donkey lady. The tale goes that in the mid-1800s, a family of 4 settled near Elm Creek in San Antonio. One day, a wealthy man from the area came past their home and started to tease a donkey the family owned. Bear with me, guys. I'm struggling here. When the animal bit the man out of fear, he became enraged and started beating it severely. The husband and wife heard the cries and ran outside. Seeing one of their livestock was so close to death, they started pelting rocks at the abusive man, who yelled explicit, basically profanities at them before leaving. Later that evening, he and a group of other men sneaked to the family's home and set it on fire in retaliation. They blocked the exits to make sure no one escaped. The husband was able to break through, but was immediately gunned down while he heard the screams of his wife and children burning alive inside. Jesus, excuse my language. Holy moly. Just as the mob was set to leave, a figure in flames stumbled out of the home, the wife. Her hands had been melted to nubs. Her face became deformed and sagged from the fire, and her skin was burnt black. She let out a piercing wail and hurled herself into the creek. Her body was actually never found. Today, there is a donkey lady bridge over Elm Creek where people have claimed to witness a creature with donkey face screaming at them from the window of their car, and later found hoof-like indentations on their vehicles. Legends has it she still haunts the area and torments those who try and cross the bridge while grieving the loss of her family. God, can you imagine? I think we've been to Donkey Lady's Bridge, or we've been around it. I know we've been to another area that was supposedly demonically haunted, a bridge. It didn't look like this. It was actually covered. It had metal beams going up the side. But again, another horrific death. I'm surprised the husband and the kids aren't also, basically still haunting this area. If it was me, I would be, pissed off beyond belief. And if I was still conscious enough to have a presence here, I would probably be doing the same thing. I'd probably be angry at every person who tried to come into my area. It sounds like she's just being protective of her area, and she's just angry about being burned alive. Can you imagine what that would be like? I mean, I can't even imagine how terrible that would have been. Okay, so let's move on. Fang Baby of Old Purcell Road. In the 1960s, a group of friends were driving home late at night on Old Purcell Road after a night of drinking. The driver suddenly swerved and landed the vehicle in brush off the shoulder of the road. He thought he saw a toddler wearing a white shirt and a diaper and with a bloody mouth. The friends argued about whether it was a baby in the street or not, but the driver insisted it wasn't and drove home.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
The next day, the driver decided to turn to the area and do some further investigation to see what he thought it was, to see if he thought it was real. While he was on the road, he got a flat tire. It was so badly damaged that he didn't notice 2 puncture marks in it. After changing the tire, he returned inside his car, grabbed a beer out of his cooler, took a sip, and started to doze off. He was awakened when he felt a sharp pain on the backside of his neck. There was the toddler, the same one he saw the night before, standing in his lap with blood dripping from its mouth. According to the urban legend, the driver's sister later saw him in her dreams, warning her never to go down Old Pearson Road again. Well, that's an interesting one. Sounds like a combination between maybe a demonic entity and maybe a human spirit. I don't know why a baby would be basically biting somebody's neck or chomping at somebody's tire or whatever, or even being out on the road. The only thing I can think of is maybe the baby got hit crossing, maybe ran out into the road, got hit by somebody. And so now basically maybe he's just out there trying to essentially get his revenge for being hit and messing with every driver that comes by. So I don't know. I mean, you guys have to make up your own mind on these. These are just interesting stories that I'm kind of reading to you, giving you my opinion. And then, like I said, you guys have to make up your own mind. All right. This one's a little hard to read too. La Lechuza. The legend of La Lechuza originated in Mexico, but the spooky witch owl possibly attacked Robertstown in 1975. La Lechuza is one giant owl with the face of a haggard woman, according to legend. It was once a woman who's wronged and now seeks revenge. Stories say villagers killed her child. The child was killed by a drunk, or that the woman was killed by locals. To know if she's near, listen for the mimic's cries of a baby. It could be her trying to lure you to your death. In October 1975, Robertson Town police began getting calls about a monster bird. Articles back then didn't mention La Churruza, just a gigantic bird. Some accounts describe describe it as 2 feet tall and some 6 feet tall. A few said the creature had human feet, other animals' feet. Regardless, all agreed it had the body of a bird and was flying around Robertstown. When a television station ran a segment on the rumors, the sightings stopped. A few occurrences popped up in a Banquet and Alice. The following year, the residents in the Rio Grande Valley reported sightings as well. So, I don't know. Again, you guys have to use your own judgment on this one. Was it just an owl that people were having a hard time seeing? Did they actually see something? Was it a ghost? Who knows? More than likely, it was probably just misidentification. But who knows? I mean, I've heard stories of pterodactyls. I've heard stories of, and take all this with a grain of salt. This is just stories I've heard. I've heard stories of large birds. There's something called, I think, the thunderbird that looks like a giant condor, but bigger, maybe prehistoric in nature. Who knows for sure? But anyways, okay, here's a cool one. All right, the Lake Worth monster. The Goatman legend didn't occur until 1969 when local citizens of Fort Worth reported that they saw a creature that looked half man, half goat with fur and scales. Newspapers in the area reported alleged sightings, including one where the monster landed on a man's car after jumping out of a tree, and another where it threw an automobile tire at a group of people. Alan Plaster was the first to photograph the alleged creature the same year. Newspapers published it, and locals headed to the lake at night to try and get a glimpse of the Lake Worth monster. Excuse me. Let's see. Local police investigated the claims, but found no evidence in the area. The legend goes: if you're out in the lake in the evening, listen carefully, and you'll hear cries, waiting to strike at the most opportune time. So I've heard stories about the Lake Worth monster. This is more like a goat man type thing. Upper body of a kind of a whole body of a goat. It's kind of like a Bigfoot / goat. It has the horns of a goat and stuff like that, and it's also got the back legs of a goat, but it has like a normal upper body, chest, and normal hands, supposedly, with very long claws, supposedly. I've heard a lot of stories about this. I actually watched a couple of shows on it, and it's something I want to pursue in the future. But like, for example, they call it the Goat Man legend. So yeah, basically this is the Goat Man. And if you're watching the YouTube channel, you can see a blurry picture of something. To me, that's really not credible. I mean, that could have been a rabbit or anything, maybe a small animal that was filmed close up. If you look at the guy's finger on this picture, it's like a quarter of the width of this. I mean, the height of this creature. And if you look at the grass is coming up about a quarter way up the back of it. So either it was just a really blurry picture, or this is not the real picture. I've actually seen pictures of what Goatman look like, and they don't look anything like this. All right, so let's end with this one. Uh-oh, my phone's dinging for some reason. Okay, so Martha's Chapel Cemetery on Demon's Road. I'm not going to even read this. Well, I guess I will. Located in Huntsville, is located in Huntsville and Bowdoin Road, better known as Demon's Road. The urban legend goes that eerie feelings sweep over anyone who dares to disrupt the spirits said to be lingering down the street. The old road also leads to Cemetery, Martha Chapel Cemetery, built in the 1830s. Not much is known about the chapel, other than the name was inspired by the first person buried in the cemetery, Martha Palmer. While driving down Demon's Road, witnesses reported handprints being left on their vehicles. Mysterious red lights have also been seen along the road before handprints appeared. Others have said they visited apparitions of young children riding a tricycle down the road with glowing red eyes. So whatever the spirit decides to reveal themselves to you down Demon's Road, drive away fast. Okay, so first off, Demon's Road, as they call it, or Martha's Chapel Cemetery, is private, as we found out. You can see it back on our other video. We had to cut our video short. The second time we went out there, we didn't know it had been, number one, we didn't know it had been vandalized so badly. Kids had thrown, and I talked about this before, but kids had vandalized the cemetery. I'm not going to get into it. We know that there was an actual old town where the cemetery was. I've done a lot of research on this. We know there used to be at least 2 chapels. One chapel was there originally, and then unfortunately it burned down. And then essentially the second chapel was erected, and I don't know if it flooded or what, but the town itself basically just basically decayed, I guess you could call it, and is no longer there. The only thing left is a cemetery. There are farms all around the cemetery, and it is in the middle of the woods. It's also home to a Bigfoot-like creature. We've had encounters there. Something growled at us several times. Also, while we were there with some other people chit-chatting, the first time we went, we told the people, you got to clear yourself before you leave. If there's anything with me, you can't go home with me. You need to stay here. And their vehicle battery immediately, brand new car, died, just drained. We also witnessed that same group of people as we were standing there. It looked like somebody sliced open the lady's calf in 2 or 3 places. And that was right after I saw something with 2 red eyes. I saw that thing. It wasn't very tall, probably child height. I don't think it was human. And I don't think it was happy that we were there. I don't know what happened in this area. I will tell you that this is a segregated cemetery. Now, remember, this cemetery was built back in before the 1800s, actually. I think the cemetery's been there a lot longer than 1830. But the front is predominantly white, and the back is predominantly everybody else. And there's bodies buried outside of the cemetery as well. Just because when the original people were there, I think they were German. I think they were Protestant or something. And they essentially, if you weren't part of the church, or you didn't, go to the church, or you didn't believe in their religion, you couldn't be buried in the cemetery. Like I said, the back part of the cemetery has, now there's a lot of new fresh graves, but originally it was for the slaves. So again, this is Texas. There was slavery back in the day. Sorry to bring that up, but it happened.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
And people these days are a lot different than they used to be. So, also, when we were sitting in the car, we witnessed, it was myself, my wife, and Gil. We were sitting in the Bronco, and that thing's like a tank. I mean, they had 1/4-inch steel around it, heavy duty metal, very hard to dent or bend or anything like that. Anyways, we were sitting there, and we just left the cemetery. Gil was feeling a little ill, so we left the cemetery. I don't think this got onto our YouTube channel. And as we were sitting there, I could see something moving around us. And then we started hearing like somebody tapping like on the metal with their fingernails. And then the K2 started lighting up. We had 3 of them in the car, and all 3 of them started lighting up at the same time. They were in different places. One was up on the dash. Gil had one in his pocket. In his hand. And Amanda also had one, I think. And as we sat there, the car started like being rocked back and forth. It was the creepiest thing. It felt creepy. I don't get scared very often, but I did not feel very comfortable with that. Let's put it that way. And so, just not a very good feeling overall. Had a few sightings in the cemetery, and just a cool location, but unfortunately you can't go there at night anymore because of the people that vandalized it, and now everybody's being protective of the cemetery, and they should be. So if you go out there at night, there's a good chance the police will get called on you, and you'll basically get asked to leave, which is fine. Anyway, so let me stop sharing my screen. All right, so we're back. So the Deep Woods Paranormal hat that I'm wearing should have said the rest of what our logo says, our Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast. It should say welcome to our podcast, our paranormal podcast, or whatever it should say. You can see the logos up here. But anyways, typo on the hats. We are working on getting apparel back on our site. Oh, before I go, I'm just going to quickly go back over this. You guys can't see this. Where did the thing go? All right, let me share my screen one more time. I'm going to go over this really briefly. And then, here we go. Let me come back here. All right, let me go back here real quick. I know I've preached this on every podcast, and so I'm going to do this at the end. If you guys would like to buy us a coffee, basically just sends us a $3 donation, helps us keep our YouTube channel and also everything else pretty much ad-free. I know if you're listening to the audio podcast, there are ads. We're working on maybe getting a couple sponsors so we can get rid of that and not have to worry about that. But I think there's always going to be ads. There's nothing we can do. Even if you're watching our YouTube channel, YouTube still throws them in from time to time. So they're not supposed to, but they do. All right. So like I said, if you want to buy us a coffee, the link's down below. It's buymeacoffee.com/deepwoodspr. And then also, again, just want to go over this because we have a lot of new listeners and a lot of our audience is continuing to grow. If you live here in Texas, Houston area, or the Bryan College Station area, or whatever, or down towards San Jacinto, we will be doing a ghost hunt at the San Jacinto jail down there, the historical jail, and the rest of the town. It'll be a couple hours. We're only asking for $20. And again, Most of the proceeds are going to go to the back to the jail, because we wanted to make sure that they continue to be able to run the jail and stuff like that. And basically, it's just they're volunteers, so everything they get basically goes back into preserving the jail, making sure everything's up and stuff, and so people can go enjoy the jail. All right, so let me stop sharing my screen again. If you guys want to be a guest on our show, whether you had a Bigfoot sighting or a ghost sighting or UFO, whatever, feel free to reach out to us. Again, best way is to get a hold of me is my cell. You can go onto our website. You can send us a message through our website, deepwoodsparanormal.com. There's a page there. I think it's the second page on our website where you can send us a message. So you can do that. And I'm going to let you all go. You guys have a good one, and we will catch you on the next one.